السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين. This is our third episode in Spirit of Values. This is Dr. Tariq Rashid. In this episode we will discuss the importance of leadership in creating the values and attitudes in others. Now, what is the definition of leadership? How can really we define leadership? There are three conditions for a good leader. First, leadership means you have a clear vision in the mind. We cannot believe there is people who are leading others without a clear vision. So clear vision, clarifying the issues, where are we moving? This is a very most important condition for leadership. The second condition is we have followers. Followers means they believe in the vision of the leader to achieve this vision. The third and most difficult condition is the ability to influence. Whenever you have the three conditions, influencing, creating followers, you can achieve result. This is the conditions for a good leadership. In leadership, there are several theories for leadership. One of the most important theories is what we call the situational leadership theory. The situational leadership theory, from its name, it depends on three main variables in leading others. The three main variables in the situational leadership: first, the follower character. The second is the situation itself. The third is the competency of the follower. So in situation leadership, we have three main variables. Let's see and discuss the concept. For example, if I have, for example, A and B are the followers coming to me as a leader in a certain situation, the same situation, they have the same competency. The situational leadership says the following: you don't lead A as you lead B because the character of the follower differs. So whenever we have different characters, good leaders will change and vary their situation in order to lead people according to their characters. In the second phase, assume that I have, for example, A is coming to me in situation X or in situation Y. This theory says the following: you don't lead A in situation X as you lead him or her in situation Y. And the third change factor in this theory is the competency level of the follower. So if we have the same follower coming to me in the same situation but with different competency level, as a fresh employee or as a 5 to 7 year experience, or if he or she has 10 years of experience, the situational leadership theory says the following: you change your action as a leader with a follower with different competency level. For example, for a fresh graduate employee coming in your organization, what are the roles of a good leader here? Here we have to direct him, teach him, learn him the procedures, the policies of the organization. But after 5 to 7 years, he or she become competent in the operation, but maybe the level of motivation and passion decreases. In such a case, a good leader will start motivating such employees. What about after 10 or 15 years of having an employee in your department or in your organization? What would you do? Let us think together. In such case, they said the following: you have to delegate those people, reaching an empowerment. Whenever we empower people to lead, we are creating the second level of leaders, the third level of leaders. By this, we ensure business continuity, and by this, we create second levels of leaders, third level of leaders, and excellent leaders believe totally in creating more leaders for the achieving of the vision of the organization. This is one of the most important theories in leadership, situational leadership. The idea is at the end to empower people. And in Surah Yusuf, مكنا ليوسف ذي القرنين ومكنا له. Empowerment is the end result for excellent leaders. Once we empower people, for sure we achieve results the highest level of value is competency. Whenever we empower people, we reach the highest competency level, which, just to remind you, it's one of the cornerstone of trust. So this is the leadership in situational leadership theory. There is another important theory of leadership. It's the desk theory. Desk theory classify 4 types of leaders. The D is a leader type, the I, the S, and C. The desk theory depends on 3 different variables. First, it depends on the change. If we have continuous change in the environment, in the society, in the world, so change is a factor. The result is another factor, or the goal orientation, and the people orientation. The desk theory discuss 4 types of leaders. The D is the dominant leader. Dominant leader believe in a continuous change, in leading the change, but he or she believes in achieving the results. They don't care much about people. They care for the result. They are very dominant, and we need such type of leadership during a crisis. In military, for example, whenever we have less of resources, we have to apply the dominant type of leadership. The second type of leaders in desk theory is the I leaders. These are the influential leaders. They care for change. They can lead change, but they focus mainly on the team, on the relations, and they believe once you relate and focus on the team, you can achieve the results. So the influential leaders are strategic, long-term leaders. The dominant leaders are short-term achievers. Now, we are left with 2 types of leaders, S and C. S is a steady leader, a leader who does not believe much in change, but they believe totally in achieving the results. They are high performers, but they don't believe much in change. And always, when change occurs, these types of leaders will fail. And the C is the last one, is the cautious leader. The cautious leader care for only good relations with the team members, but they don't care for the result, as well as they don't care much about change. Thus, in this theory, we can read that we have different roles and styles of leaders: the dominant leader, the influential leader, the steady leader, the cautious leader. In 2002, the authors of this theory make a long questionnaire on the internet and attracting several CEOs and leaders of several organizations to test the most relevant type of leadership. Is it the D or the I or the S and the C? And astonishingly, they found that we have 5, the 5th type, rather, neither D nor I nor S nor C. They have a 5th type of leaders who can combine 2 types, for example, D and I or D and S. And by this, they said that situational leadership is most and more relevant than desk theory in different situations. Well, another important leadership theory is the functional leadership theory. From its name, the functional leadership theory focus on the function of leaders, and they distinguish between 2 types of functions for leaders: continuous functions as well as sequential functions. The sequential functions are 4 functions: planning, organizing, leading, monitoring, and controlling. And because of this, some authors say that this is management. Yeah, but the leadership authors say no, different types of functions. In management, planning for the goals and objectives. In leadership, we plan how can we actually plan for the attitude of the people, how can we lead them. Organizing in the management, it's the organizational structure, but organizing in leadership is organizing a good team and leading and directing. The other type of functions is the continuous: decision making, communication, and motivating. So good leaders will always make a decision, create the decision, take the decision, and they communicate, always do it their people and employees, and they can always communicate with them. And there is always a problem in decision making. Values should direct the decision. Now let's see what are the components of a good decision. And always we say this is the triangle of decision process. It passes in through three sequence steps. The first step in decisions is what we call decision making, DM, decision making. For a good decision making, we have to have good data, good information, excellent management, and having wise people to make the decision. Once we have good data, once we have the whole information in a situation, once we have the knowledge needed, we can decide on the best decision. So decision making is the first pillar of decisions. What is the second? Decision taking, DT. So decision making, then decision taking. If decision making needs wisdom, decision taking needs courage. Courageous people, courageous leaders will always can take decision in situations. Because of this, we say always, excellent leaders will always direct the decision of people towards implementation, which is the third step in decision, is decision implementation, DI. So decision making, decision taking, decision implementation, excellent leaders will always direct their employees to achieve decisions. Then this is the one of the main functions for good leaders is the decision taking. And in the decision triangle, through the three steps, decision making, decision taking, decision implementation, excellent leaders could delegate two of the three components of the decision. Excellent leaders can delegate decision making. We need consultants, we need wise people, and they also can delegate decision implementation. But decision taking should be always done by excellent leaders. And always in training the leaders, we give them the following rule. Bad decision is better than no decision. But you have to be accountable for the decisions. The second function leaders will always do it is to motivate people, to enhance the performance of people by motivating them, by exploring in their energy level, and communication. Good leaders are always in a good communication with their team members. All these functions will promote actually excellent functions of leaders. Another important theory in leadership is the characteristical leadership theory. From its name, it defines the main characteristics of excellent leaders. In this theory, we have several characteristics, but there are the 5 main characteristics of excellent leaders. What do you think the most high-level characteristics in excellent leaders? First, visionary. Excellent leaders have clear vision in their minds, and they transfer this vision to their employees, to their nation, to affect them in order to achieve goals. The second characteristic is credibility. How much is the leader credible for the team is another important character. The third characteristic is actually has to relate with communication. Excellent listeners. Perfect leaders are excellent listeners. And there are several types of listening. There are 6 types actually of listening. Ignoring listening, pretending listening, selective listening, active listening, interactive listening. And the best is what leaders practice with their people, emotional listening. When you listen by your hearts for the feelings, for the emotions of your people, of your nation, then you will affect their attitudes. So listening is one of the major characteristics. Also, one of the major characteristics of excellent leaders, decision makers. They can clearly make the decision. And the 5th most important, fair with their employees, with their people. So characteristical leadership theory summarizes the characteristics of excellent leaders. There are also several theories that discuss values and ethics. One of the latest theories in leadership is what we call VBL, value-based leadership. This type of theory concentrates on the values and principles that leaders always should believe in and create and transfer to their people. Always leaders should act in an ethical way according to certain types of values they create and they believe in. The principle-centered leadership theory, one of the theories that presented by Dr. Stephen Covey relating to the principles in which leaders should believe in. There are 7 principles in this theory. The first is always leaders are proactive people. They don't wait. They are very proactive. They initiate the action. So being a proactive, one of the major principles for excellent leaders. So always be proactive. Individual level, nation level, company level, society level, proactive people always achieve results. The second principle is start with the end in mind. Don't go in life without a direction. Start with the end in mind. Means you have to have a clear compass, clear direction, clear vision in your mind. The third principle is first things first. Excellent leaders have a priority list. They have to prioritize issues. Is this the most important? Is this the less important? So excellent leaders have certain types of priorities. This is another important principle in leadership. Have a clear priorities and think first things first. These 3 principles will transfer you from being dependent into independent. What are the 3 other principles? The 3 other principles are the following. Think with your nation, think with your employees, think with your people, win-win. Always think of the concept of win-win. And here we have 3 types of relations, either win-lose or lose-win, lose-lose or win-win. We should always act in a win-win situation. And the 5th principle is again related to communication. Listen before speaking, which means seek first to understand, then to be understood. One of the major principles is the listening more than speaking. Excellent leaders will always do this. The 6th principle in this theory is synergize. We integrate with our people. We integrate in order to create a good team. And the last principle, which is re-energize every now and then for your passion, for your energy. It's called sharpen the saw. Mentally, you have to re-energize yourself. Emotionally, re-energize yourself. Spiritually, and even physically, good leaders will follow these principles. Thank you for this episode. Next episode, we'll go deeply in one of the major differences in value action between management and leadership. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.